A novel immunotherapy treatment called CAR-T is offering new hope to patients with certain types of cancer. UMass Memorial Medical Center has now treated multiple patients with these supercharged cancer-fighting cells. Medical Center President Dr. Michael Gustafson sat down with Chief of Hematology Oncology and Cancer Center Medical Director Dr. Jonathan Gerber for a closer look at this innovative tool in the fight against cancer.
Dr. Gerber, thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to learn much more about CAR-T therapy. Can you start by telling us what CAR-T therapy is and how it can be used for our cancer patients?
The term CAR-T cell stands for chimeric antigen receptor T cell, which is why you can understand we call it CAR-T cells. These are the patient's own immune cells, in this case the T lymphocytes, or the master immune cells in the body, that are collected from their blood. The reason they're called chimeric is we actually re-engineer, or the company that we ship the cells to will re-engineer these cells so that they're sort of a mixture between a B lymphocyte and a T lymphocyte. They actually insert an antibody gene into the T cell, and instead of it normally attacking a variety of targets, it'll attack a specific target that is directed by that correction that's done on them, or this adjustment. After the cells are re-engineered to attack that target, they're then grown up further in the lab, they're multiplied in the lab, and then from there they will be shipped back to us. They can be shipped either fresh or frozen. Often they're frozen, and then we actually reinfuse them into the patient. What's really exciting about these is once they're inside of a patient, when they encounter their target, not only can they latch on and kill a cell directly, and they do it by actually poking holes in the cell. Water will then rush in and rupture the cell. Very difficult for cells to be resistant to that mode of killing. One of these CAR-T cells can kill about 1,000 tumor cells.
We had our first patient treated in March of 2022.
That's correct.
Maybe just talk a little bit about the number of patients so far that we've treated, and then the patients that are starting to become available for future treatment.
We've treated about a half dozen patients sort of as we speak today. These were all patients in whom their disease had initially been treated with sort of standard chemotherapy, even in some cases some clinical trials or very novel agents, and despite that, either resistant to all of that therapy or initially responded and then returned, and often with a vengeance. Each of these patients had life-threatening disease, had run out of treatment options or other treatment options, and would have had to travel considerable distances in order to get a therapy like this.
Anything that you'd want to tell to the team members that participated in kind of bringing us up? Would you want to share anything with all of those folks?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, a huge thank you. It's a very rewarding thing to be able to tell a patient, look them in the eye and say, we do have some hope for you. We still have something that can work, and not only can it work, but it can work well enough that there's a chance that it could cure them. And I think the one message I would say is that this is just the beginning of what we're doing. The field is evolving at a very, very rapid pace. It is probably the most exciting time, and maybe in any field, but certainly in the field of hem-onc. In the same way that our bone marrow transplant expertise and experience enabled us to launch this new therapy, these will enable us to launch the next wave of therapies successfully and continue to bring the most cutting-edge therapy to our patients.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today and explaining this amazing innovation.